In 2011, I started doing stand-up comedy, and that was kind of like a thing on the side. I was a banker at the time, and then I left the banking world in 2013 and joined Doha Film Institute as I think community outreach was the department, 2013, but then I moved on to become a producer. And then on the side, outside of working hours, I set up my own companies. So my first company was actually called Legacy Sports and Events. It still operates, but it pivoted from sports for extracurricular activities to more of a consulting and sports management. I think comedy opened up the doors to working in advertising. Advertising opened up the doors to working in startup. I think Qatar is, you know, especially for entertainment, there's a lot of communities that kind of stick together and push for their passions. But in terms of mass industries, I don't think they're still there. At the end of the day, there's a market, right? So how many people want to go see stand-up comedy every week? I don't know. Do we have a production industry, a film production industry? No, we have production companies, but we do not have an industry. We're getting there. The media, technology, entertainment industries here are being invested in today. The government's looking at them in more detail than they did before. So it's, you know, the future's bright for the next generation of entertainers, I guess. Yes, social media, definitely. I mean, when I started doing it, the tools and the mediums were not the same. So I was doing YouTube content, Instagram started, you know, came out, and it kind of, Twitter was, you know, there, but I remember it being like, Twitter used to be like, hey, I went for pizza today and it was lovely, you know, or I went to the cinema and it was nice. Now Twitter is not like that at all, you know. Instagram now is basically filled with content that's all advertising. So it's a lot of influencers, a lot of, you know, scrolling through Instagram is either based on the algorithm and what it pushes to you. It's either food, football, politics, models, fashion. So it kind of pushes to you what you consume. You know, it was a trend where you would just, 2015, 16, 17, it was like, these influencers, if they're not talking about you, your business is done. But now, I think different, like with the growth of TikTok and what TikTok is doing, I think advertising on digital advertising has changed. The locals is not one group. That's the first thing. I understand that the desire, so one of the main things I created my agency for was because the big agencies that I was working with and the clients that they had, it was always, let's target the local, and the local was one group. And that for me is not cool, really, because within that group, there's a lot of diversity. So your personas in the Qatari society are very different, just like any other demographic. Obviously, Arabic is the first thing that you need to do. You know, start speaking their tongue, start talking to them in their interests and what they like and how they consume their media. That will get you one step closer. For me specifically, I'm not an influencer. I don't think myself as an influencer. So when I match with brands, number one is I like to stick with Qatari. So the Metro is a big deal. It's a local development. It's a fantastic story. And I feel like supporting it is, you know, or aligning myself with something so amazing is, you know, is good. But the criteria for me are, number one, is the brand really something that I kind of want to work with? I'm the right person for this brand. Do I have an affinity with this brand? Then we go to like the new, is it a new thing in the market? Is it trying to create a buzz in the market? Are they looking for a certain tone that matches mine? Because sometimes, you know, they want to work with me, but then they put a lot of restrictions on how I can be. So Deliveroo, I liked working with them because they're new in the market. Their team is super cool. and they're our neighbors, and they gave me the freedom to just, do me, and we did, and it was a successful, fun little campaign. So hopefully they'll pay me a little bit more next time to do more. And the idea that something from Qatar can come and create a buzz around the region, bigger government entities like tourism and Qatar Airways and QMBs need to, of the world, Ooredoo, Vodafone, all of these things that have an affinity towards talking to people in the region, I think they're the ones who can drive that forward the most. But I think Qatar's established so many things and so many procedures on paper should help a lot of people coming to this market. And I believe that there's a lot of good happening because places like Media City are doing really well to attract production. So yeah, I think that the future is bright, as I said, for content creators, media production, marketeers exist within this market, and that should excite a lot of the local businesses too. Who's your market? Who are you targeting? If you're going to create an event for a certain group of people and you want to reach them by not going there, it's never going to happen. So coming here, setting up a business, I'm going to entertain the masses, great, fantastic. But if you don't have the affinity with that community or with that audience, or if you don't build that, that's PR, networking. You got to put the hours in, Sometimes it's tiring. You go to work, you finish, you do all of your stuff, and then at 6 p.m. you need to go to this event. At 8 p.m. you need to go, that's what it takes. You got to be in the market, you got to create your own network. And places like Workinton should make it easier, because for me, again, collaborations with different neighbors, they're all in the same building. I'm Hamad Al Amari. I've been a Workinton member since 2021, I think. My company name is H Digital Media and Advertising.